Hello guys, and welcome to this video about Math 200, the culinary program that talks about properly portioning, yielding, and doing conversions of units. These are odd problems from chapter 4.1. So let's go ahead and start with the first problem that says you have a 24-pound case of Comice pears in your pantry. If dicing Comice pears gives a 78% yield, how many 4-ounce servings of peeled diced pears can you fabricate from this case? Okay, let me go ahead and write the steps that we're going to be doing. So always, first step, go ahead and do the yield, my yield formula, okay, to account for the waste on Comice pears. And then you're going to be doing the conversions of appropriate units, okay? And then at the end, you're going to be doing the portioning. Okay, portioning is going to tell you the unit that you are doing the conversion to after you do the yield. So in this case, I have a 24-pound case. This is as purchased. Okay, as purchased means, as a quick reminder, or AP means as purchased. Okay, and EP means edible portion. Okay, so on step 1, we're going to go ahead and do the yield formula, and the yield formula says AP quantity divided by EP quantity is the same thing as 100% divided by the yield percent. So using this same formula, my AP quantity, or as purchased quantity, that's going to be 24-pound case, 24 pounds, that's how much I am purchasing, okay? And EP, that's the preparation, or the prepared, the peeled diced pears that I can get, okay? 100%, this number is always there. And on this case, the percent yield for this case of pears is 78%, as the problem says. Okay, in order to solve a proportion that looks like this, you're going to multiply the two numbers that you have in the diagonal, on this case 24 times 78, and then you're going to divide by the leftover number, on this case that's 100, and that is going to give you the edible portion. So let's go ahead and do this first. I'm gonna do it in a separate slot. So 24 pounds times 78% divided by 100%. That's the process that I'm doing. Multiply, and then divide by the leftover number. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this in the calculator really quick. 24 times 78 divided by 100. Result is 18.72 pounds. And on this case, this result, this is my EP quantity, this number over here. Okay, so when you fabricate a case, you have some waste lost, okay, because you peel and you dice the pear, so you lose a little bit of the stems and of the skin. Okay, so in reality you have 18.72 pounds to work with. Okay, first step. Second step, as already defined here, that's going to be the conversion. So I'm going to take the 18.72 pounds, and I'm going to convert this into the portioning unit. The problem is saying that we are serving 4-ounce portions, or 4-ounce servings. Okay, that means I'm converting to ounces, pounds to ounces, and I'm gonna do this through dimensional analysis. And dimensional analysis says start with the given quantity. You're gonna start a series of multiplications and divisions, where the given quantity is going to go on the opposite side now, and the desired quantity, or the desired unit, is going to go on the top. And over here, the numbers that you're going to place here in order to do the proper conversion is going to be the conversion factor for ounces and pounds, or the equivalence between ounces and pounds, which is going to be 16 ounces per every pound. Okay, this will be a multiplication. So you multiply all the numbers in the top, then divide by all the numbers in the bottom, and this is going to be 299.52 ounces. Okay, and these are my EP ounces. It's the same number as 18.72, but it's converted to ounces. I'll go ahead and color code it just to make sure that we're on the same page. This is EP quantities. Okay, and the last step will be the portioning. Okay, and the formula for portioning, this is step 2. Step 3, my formula for portioning is as follows. It's going to be a proportion, or a rule of 3, like we sometimes call it. Okay, where on the top we have the EP quantity, the whole number that you calculate from the previous problem, the 299.72. Okay, and in the bottom we're going to have portion size and number of portions. Or a different way to have labels on this formula is also going to be serving size, number of servings. Okay, so these two numbers, if you multiply serving size times number of servings, you get the number in the top. If you get the number in the top and then you divide by the number in the bottom, then you get the other number in the bottom. Okay, same as if you take the EP quantity and you divide it by the number of portions, then your result is the portion size. Okay, this is a better way to remember those formulas. Same for the serving size. The only thing that's changing is the name of the formula. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the formula where my EP quantity is 299.52 ounces. And if I go back to my original problem, they are serving 4 ounce servings. That is my portion size. My portion size is 4 ounce servings, or 4 ounces. We can also call this 4 ounces per portion or per serving. Okay, and we're trying to find the number of portions. So all I'm doing here, go ahead and move this out of the way. Well, what we're trying to do here is divide 299.52 divided by 4 ounces per portion, and that's going to give me the number of portions. So I'm taking the number, dividing it by 4 ounces per portion, and I get 74.88 portions. 0.88 portions. Okay, now if you take this to real life, to a real life scenario, then you should round down the 74.88, because you cannot serve 75 portions. You don't have enough EP quantity to serve 75. You only have enough EP quantity to serve 74 and a little bit more. So if the head chef is asking you how many portions can you serve, then the result is 74. Moving to the next problem. Go ahead and get this out of the way. The next problem says you have 5 honeydew melons that have a weight of 9 pounds. How many ounces of diced honeydew could you serve to 20 people if dicing honeydew has a yield of 57% when of edible portion out of the waste? Okay, so remember, the first thing that we do is yielding. The second thing that we do is conversion. And the third thing that we do is portioning. So my formula for the yield says AP divided by EP is the same thing as 100% divided by the yield percent. If I plug in the numbers that I'm given, AP is going to be how much I'm purchasing. And if you plug in here honeydews, then the result, the EP result is going to be honeydews. So we have two options here. We can plug in 5 honeydew, which is what we're purchasing, or we can plug in 9 pounds, which is the total weight for the honeydews. And since we are serving, we're trying to find the serving in ounces, then I'm just going to use the 9 pounds. It's easier to convert 9 pounds to ounces than it is to convert 5 honeydews to ounces. Excuse me. So I'm going to do 9 pounds of honeydew. This is always 100%. Working out honeydew yields 57%. That means you lose a lot of the peels, okay, or the outside part of the honeydew that's really, really heavy. All of that is not edible. That's why we have a very small yield percent or percent yield. Okay, so we're going to try to find the EP quantity here. And we find that by taking 9 pounds times 57 and divided by 100. Okay, 9 pounds times 57 and divided by 100. And that's going to tell me the number of edible pounds of honeydew that comes out of my 9 pounds of purchased honeydew. Okay, second step will be conversions. So I'm going to do the conversions. And that is taking the 5.13 pounds that I calculated from the previous problem, 5.13 pounds. And I'm converting to ounces in this case because the problem says we're asking for how many ounces of diced honeydew can I serve. So I'm converting to the units of serving. In that case, 5.13 pounds to ounces. So let's go ahead and do the dimensional analysis. 5.13 pounds. Dimensional analysis says the given units go on the bottom, the desired units go on the top, and the conversion ratio between pounds and ounces is 16 ounces per every pound. So the next thing to do here, we multiply the two numbers in the top, and then divide by 1, and you'll get a total of 82.08 ounces. And that will be my EP quantity, the whole amount of honeydew of diced honeydew that I have to work with. Okay, my third step will be the portioning, and I'm using my formula for portioning, which is EP quantity. The total quantity is the same as portion size times number of portions or servings. And in this case, my total EP quantity is 82.08 ounces. And the problem is asking me to serve 20 people. We're serving 20 people. In this case, the number of portions is 20 portions. Or 20 people, right? What is my portion size? So we are taking the EP quantity and we are dividing. Okay, we are dividing by the number of portions. So when we do this division, the portion size will be 4.104 ounces per portion, or per serving, or per guest, or 104 ounces per portion. Okay. Next problem says we're purchasing 22-pound turkeys, and the whole turkey has a yield of 36.3% of the original weight in cooked meat. How many 3-ounce portions of cooked meat will each turkey provide here? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this problem. First, we will do the yield, then we'll do the conversion, and then we'll do the portioning. Okay, the yield, just like before, we're using the same formula, AP over EP equals 100 divided by the percent yield. Okay, on this case, my percent yield is 36.3%. My AP quantity is going to be 22 pounds. That's the weight of the turkey, 22 pounds. And the EP quantity, or the EP pounds, is what we're trying to find. Okay, yield will be 22 times 36.3 divided by 100, and that's going to be my EP pounds. Out of the original turkey, which is 7.986 edible pounds per turkey. Okay, we're talking about per turkey, and the problem says how many 3-ounce portions can we get from each turkey. Okay, step 2 will be conversion. So we're serving 3-ounce portions. That means that the conversion is taking pounds and converting into ounces. We're serving 3-ounce portions, so we have to convert to ounces. Okay, and that I'm gonna do through dimensional analysis. Given unit goes on the bottom, desired unit goes on the top, and this is 16 ounces per 1 pound. That means we multiply 7.986 times 16, and that gives me my total amount of EP ounces that I have to work with. Total amount of ounces. And the last step will be portioning. My formula says EP quantity is portion size times number of portions, or EP quantity divided by either portion size or number of portions will give you the other number. Okay, my EP quantity is 127.776 ounces that I have to work with. Okay, according to my problem, we're serving 3-ounce portions. So my portion size is 3 ounces per portion. We're trying to find how many portions can we get out of here. Okay, so 127.77 divided by 3, and my number of portions, or number of servings, is 42.59 portions. So in reality, you can serve 42 people and a little bit more than 42.